guys now. No, we are not doing PCAM. That is not a thing that we do ever. Technically, I already have a video where it sounds like I'm peeing anyway. Okay, right. We're under attack. Let's deal with that. So we still have the spiders up here, but they're not actually as concerning. My guys are starting to level up. I'm starting to get upgrades, and we're getting more and more dudes.
Hasta la vista, baby.
And we'll have the crypt fairly soon. Do we have the lecture hall yet? Because if I don't have the lecture hall, then I should probably get cracking on that. I do not have the lecture hall yet. So 1, 2, 3.
Serenity's army was almost indecently large. The leader on duty therefore decided to send a punitive expedition into the overworked Evil's dungeon. Naturally, they didn't have a chance down there. In addition, those cowards in Serenity also sent out a well-equipped patrol to cause trouble in the overworld, but only trouble for evil creatures, of course.
Okay, so we've got a patrol and we've got invaders coming for my fountain. Well, luckily my fountain's like right there, so I don't really have much to worry about. Let's see. Is it basically midnight right now where I am? Yes, it's 11. It's 11:30, which really isn't so bad. I'm usually a bit of a night owl. Today I'm kind of wiped out though.
Entered the dungeon.
Because I got up earlier than usual to go see Blade Runner, which was actually really fun. Sort of. It was an interesting movie, to be sure. Not one that I think I'd ever see again, but that's generally true of almost every movie I ever watch. But I got up early, and I'm a little bit zonked as a result of it, but whatever. Happens. Okay, so I want to go deal with those spiders. I swear I dealt with them, but I guess I did not. Okay, workshop. Oh, doesn't actually increase speed, which means I gotta get this. See if I can increase the speed at which we make work boxes, because I wanted to get... Wasn't a dungeon... Here it is. We wanted to get a defibromat, which we kind of have space for. I gotta make this bigger. Whatever's up with this is something. What are examples of movies I'd rewatch? Generally, like, really heavy eye candy movies are good bets on things that I'd watch again. Marvel movies, I think, are good examples of movies that I'd watch a second time around. Oh, it's because I never actually finished this room. That's why I couldn't put the defibromat, whatever. Let's see. I don't have enough for more, but this is fine. So if we're lucky, we will never have to worry about another guy dying here. At least for a little while. Princess Bride, I'd probably watch again. Things that I really enjoyed. Animated movies are usually a pretty good sign. Pretty good thing to work with. Should probably get a Banshee. I bet I need a Banshee to,
Take that, you worm!
I'd probably need a Banshee to revive my guys. I can't imagine zombies are particularly good at reanimations. Well, yes and no. Let's see. So let's hire a Banshee. Now let's see if she'll immediately get to work. Looks like she will, actually. Oh wait, no. The defibromat has to be rebuilt. Other examples are like Star Wars. Like I'm liable to rewatch the Star Wars movies at some point. Lord of the Rings, maybe? Let's see, did I ever see the Doctor Strange animated movie from 2008? I did. I was decidedly meh about it. I didn't really enjoy it that much. Okay, apparently I can have up to 21 patients on the defibromat, which is going to make this a lot nicer, a lot easier. I don't know. I guess treasuries don't need walls or anything like that, so I'm just gonna build a treasury in there. Yeah, I don't actually like Marvel animated anythings. I find their animated universe to be particularly kiddish.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
And just low quality. Which makes me sad. Because their actual movies are great. It's just, whenever they decide to make like an Iron Man movie or whatever, it just feels low budget, low effort. I have that problem with video games, too. That generally when it comes to like the comic book universe, it's very rare that you'll actually find a good game based off of a comic book series. Like I rather enjoyed the Deadpool
Introspective evil
game.
Tinkered away. Apparently, it had forgotten there was a huge army in Serenity capable of turning the dungeon into a pile of ashes at any time. In order to prevent this, it would make sense to capture the armories and use the siege weapons located there.
And this is why I kind of don't like this guy that much. Okay, so we've got our library. Probably use an Arcanum. I don't really have imps. I don't really use the Arcanum that much. We did get a graveyard. Did we not? Yes. It's a small graveyard, but it's a graveyard. And it's got enough space for everything that we could possibly need. Let's make sure that we've got enough for multiple zombies. We do need a prison, though. That's probably what this is going to be. Yeah, this is actually exactly what this is going to be.
Dragons have nested in the underground.
I kind of wish I could imprison the dragons and forcibly recruit them. You guys wanna... There we go. Is this guy still dead? Huh. What about, like, Battle Chasers Night War? That doesn't really count, though. When I'm talking about, like, game-based, or game based on, like, comic books and stuff like that, like, I'm talking Deadpool. I'm talking, like, I guess Marvel Ultimate Alliance was actually not half bad, but... It wasn't half bad, but they kind of phoned it in. There we are. The Ultimate Alliance games could have been amazing. The Marvel MMOs have definitely been, like, garbage. From my general experience. Let's just dig all this up. What about Batman Arkham Asylum? So that's the thing. There are exceptions. DC, I find, has the better tie-in games. Oh, did Thalya's name reset? It did. So I guess... Oh, reloading probably resets names. That's probably how it works. Okay, well, how many little snots can I get? 2 more. I'm gonna keep exploring for a little while longer. Could probably use another Fountain of Evil, though. If we wanted to go on adventures. Let's go on some adventures.
Battle.
Let me check this for a second. It just says an undead. So, what's my Banshee? You go back in there. Hopefully she'll do her job. If we're lucky,
Who do you want dead?
if we're lucky, she'll get to work on reviving that guy. But yeah, the Batman Arkham Asylum games are fantastic. They're the notable exceptions. Except for Arkham Knight makes me angry. I don't know how many of you guys were around back then, but I actually played... Ow. Oh, that's a zombie, okay. Actually, I did a series on Arkham...
Patrolling for weapons, Evil's army had discovered one of the armories. It quickly decided to capture it straight away.
I actually had covered the Arkham games. I played through all of Arkham Asylum, and I was starting to play through most of City when Arkham Knight came out. And then Arkham Knight came out and was pure garbage, performance-wise, which sucked, because it was actually, like, a fantastic game. And I have never quite forgiven them for that. Motherfucker, wrong one.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
I don't know if my my dudes will run back. Actually, that's an interesting question. Okay. And now we've got enemies in our dungeon, so I guess this foray out into the world was very short-lived. Oh, they're going for my treasure. That's not okay. Actually, no, it looks like they're getting distracted by all of my my imps. So what's my view of loot boxes and microtransactions locking away game progression? I think it's the shittiest thing ever. I actually got copies of oh good, Holgerk is sort of starting to be revived here. I got a copy of Shadow of War earlier today, and I'm like super on the wall about it because it's a heavily microtransaction based game, and that feels really icky to me. But at the same time, I loved the previous one, which puts me in like this really awkward spot of wanting to do a series on a game, but also hating everything that it stands for. I don't know. I hate being in that position. I don't like being confronted with these things. Luckily, it's one of those situations where I can kind of vote with my wallet, play the game, and more or less just be like, don't buy this, wait until it's on sale, and or they patch out the stupid loot crates. Because, I'm fine with the idea of loot crates being in a game if the loot crates are, easily purchasable with currency and don't lock progression. An easy example, what's a game that has good loot crate based progression? I mean,
is under attack.
Technically you could argue that that Battle Chasers Night War actually has loot crates in it, but you can't purchase them with real money, so it's just kind of built into the game. It's a treasure chest. Random loot. The moment it becomes unacceptable, oh boy. The moment it becomes unacceptable for me is usually the moment when they... I'm gonna hit them with Meteor Shower a bit early. Holy shit. I don't know if we can deal with that.
What? Someone saw a patrol from Serenity? Wipe them out. Give them small animal names.
Did I do... They do not have the healing upgrade. Oh, Holgerk, you need to go back. There's nothing Holgerk can do right now. Okay, this is a particularly rough and tumble group. And we're getting kind of smashed.
Sure showed him.
But it looks like they just instantly show back up in my grave, yeah? Yeah, okay, cool.
Oh, hey!
So as long as we don't lose anybody here, we'll be fine.
More power. More power!
See, loot crates should be cosmetics like Overwatch. Sort of? I don't even like how Overwatch does it, actually. I think Overwatch's loot crates got really frustrating.
Had effortlessly taken out a patrol from Serenity. That made the overworld a much safer place, at least for evil creatures.
I like Overwatch. I like Overwatch's loot crates from the perspective of they don't impact gameplay at all, which feels very very fair. I don't like the fact that Overwatch's loot crates are so hard to get and it takes so long to get them. Mainly just because it kind of forces players to play so much to earn so little. And that gets really frustrating, because then you're really kind of incentivized to open your wallet and buy stuff.
Enemies
and I kind of
enter the dungeon.
I would rather them just have cash money exclusive skins and skins that you can earn. Maybe. I don't know. That one's kind of a hard sell.
Must die.
Payday.
See, I did get a prison. Awesome. Let's see. So this is a mission that we're gonna wanna. What did I do? Why did I do this? Okay, that should be reasonable. A lot of corpses. Yeah, we want to get a succubus, actually, if we can grab one. Because if I could actually... I mean, obviously getting a pit fiend would be cool. Well, take some effort, though. Kanye West. Of course. Okay. We only probably need 3, but this way I can pick up much harder fights if I want to. Okay, let's see. So I can pick up a succubus yet, but, already, but we do not have enough evilness points. But we got people in the, we got people in prison, so I guess that kind of helps. Okay, I guess, seeing as we've got some time here, let's work on other things. Oh. Speaking of other things, we need gobblers. Bad. Luckily, half my forces are dead, so the whole gobbler problem isn't an immediate one, but it will get worse. Let's do... I gotta go get more evil fountains and stuff like that. What about the whole, WB attempting to pocket money for Shadow of War? I think that actually was a situation where WB was not being malicious about it. The problem is their PR was so bad. For people that don't know, with the, with Warner Brothers and profiting off of, Shadow of War DLC, there was a, one of their producers died. In the middle of making the game, or after finishing the game, or something like that. No beer. Oh, we need beer too. We need a lot of things. Let's see. I guess we should probably focus on getting some of those. We need more evilness points. Well, yeah, once these guys are back up, then we can, once these guys are back up, I'll go for other stuff. But so, yeah, one of the producers died, so they made a DLC putting him into the game and more or less effectively immortalizing him in Shadow of War, which is really, you know, really endearing. The problem is, they proceeded to sell it for $5 and also, not disclose the fact that they're pocketing a fair amount of the cash, which feels really unethical, but I think in reality that whole kerfuffle was more of a result of the legal team writing the stuff instead of anybody with a heart, if that makes sense, which sucks. Kind of for everybody, and I feel bad, because that really probably was not really their fault. But Shadow of War was already in a situation where people were kind of predisposed to hate it, and so it did not get better from there. Let's see, you did buy a lot of DLC for Persona 5. I did, and to some degree, I am a hypocrite when it comes to buying DLC. I will buy DLC.
A spider nest has been unearthed.
I will buy DLC if
The good.
if I think it's worthwhile. It's not always. In a lot of cases, DLC is completely not worth picking up, and you know I shouldn't do so. But sometimes it's hard not to. That's part of the problem with DLC. It's there to tempt you. So with Persona 5, I picked up a whole bunch of DLC so I could buy all the old Personas. And I don't feel like that was a bad decision. I think the reason for that is I don't like buying DLC or things in games that I don't know what it's going to do.
The dungeon.
The difference between me buying Persona 5 DLC and, say, Shadow of War's DLC practices, or not DLC, loot crate practices, is with Persona 5 I knew exactly what I was buying. I was buying specific monsters that would show up in the game and I could use them and whatever. And, you know, I could live without them. With Shadow of Mordor, or not Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, that's how you get loot, equipment, and orcs and stuff. Like, that's a completely different ball game entirely. When your progression system has a means of, like, circumventing it with money. Sort of? I don't know. Really, the game is kind of based around making it enticing to get those loot crates. And that to me, that's where I kind of, like, start drawing lines hard. Okay.
It's
get a
payday.
Tinker's Workshop. Then I'm gonna open up the next one and we'll put beer down here. Let's see. But personally, I would love to see Warner Brothers like kind of step in and be like, okay, we're not doing that again. But from what I can tell, I actually know a couple people on the dev teams, and they're all like 100% down with this the loot crate thing, and I'm like, no, don't do that. That's a bad. Oh well, not the end of the world. Okay, so we wanted to get the Gobbler feed upgrade. Well, Gobbler situation has improved considerably since I last looked.
The dungeon.
So I'm not too worried about it. Hello! Yeah, some of my guys are still like on the cusp of death, which is kind of a problem. Well, it's okay. Yeah, don't forget to make space for barrels. As long as they leave most of the chamber open for barrels, I don't think we have to worry about it. Let's see. So this is all kind of filled in nicely. They're probably paid to say it. Well, they say it in private channels and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess it makes sense. If somebody tweeted that they weren't on board with company policy, they'd probably get in like a shit ton of trouble and probably get fired. Which, okay, yeah, no, I can see why they say it regardless of what their actual feelings are. So what do the arachnids do? I think the arachnids are just slightly tougher versions of imps. I'll research them if I've got the evilness point for it. I think we're okay. So next up we want to get the torture chamber so we can actually pick up some free heroes. Probably. You know what? Let's get the last little snot. They're always worthwhile. Okay. Oh, we've got another enemy patrol coming through. Well, how are people doing? Nobody's dead, actually. And most of them are healing up nicely. Good. So maybe I should get the ironbound orcs first. Well, let's go on some adventures. And I can send the whole team this time around.
I knew you'd need me.
But yeah, I think it's also just baseline for Shadow of Mordor War. Let's beat that horse a couple more times. Oh, hi.
What? Someone saw a patrol from Serenity? Wipe them out. Give them small animal names.
Well, we're going to lose some people.
Take that!
This is a problem. Alright, let's get Ironhide, and then after this I'm probably gonna work on Thalya. At least they more or less just show right back up in here. Yeah, there's Orc already. Well, this is gonna be a really good experience for my dudes. But it also means this game is gonna get a lot harder. But I think for Shadow of War and whatnot, it was a huge PR problem more than anything else. Like, I think as a whole, they might have actually been better suited with more transparency. Because I think Shadow of War, you know, is kind of coming out and they know if they just hold out for a little while, people will realize the game is going to be good. I don't know. I don't think I get my copy of it until tomorrow. But by not letting people even see the system until a certain date and time, they more or less kind of screw themselves because no one knows really how it's gonna go. Because they stopped sending out advance copies, and I think that was a terrible idea. So thoughts on the naming scheme for Star Wars Battlefront 2? I don't care. Enough time had passed that, you know, renaming it probably helps. Because I know, like, with Tomb Raider, if they had actually kept with the numbering or the naming scheme from previously, it would probably get really messy, and that wouldn't be any good. That said, the new Star Wars Battlefront 2 sounds like it actually has the loot crate problem. That it is one of those games where you can pay to win it, and that's super scary. Because, at least with, like, a single-player game, you can kind of just ignore it. But with multiplayer, if you can pay to win, it just... Ooh.
The unstoppable
you
Evil's
don't
army
want
had
that.
taken the Eastern Armory and captured a catapult.
It's no excuse. Final Fantasy stuck with numbers for ages.
Catapult. Excellent.
That's
we
true.
can sow chaos and destruction.
Oh, shit!
How does this thing work?
This was one of those newfangled point-and-click catapults, which could be fired fully automatically without a crew. Very handy indeed. Just press the appropriate button, select the target, designate it, and away you go.
I don't know what happens if Thalya dies. Can't really afford it if she does, if it matters. I don't know what happens if she dies. Let's try avoiding that at all, if at all possible. Okay.